Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, teach well while learning truth, 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet, service, scattered abroad, the four corners of the earth. And shalom to you, Aquaf, which are you few sisters out there that are sincere, your children, shalom. And then today's video is going to be titled The Love of Many Shall Wax Cold. And it's ultimately going to be building off of this video that I got here of basically this situation that you had occur, you see, and they're going to ultimately get into it in the video. They're going to detail the things that happen. But this just ultimately shows us, brothers and sisters, of what time we're in, man, of how ultimately these people are in this place, America, man, that these people are really bugged out. You see, that's why the scriptures tells us, I'm going to grab that. This is Ephesians chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 15, and I'm going to read to 16. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, right? And that's how we got to be in this time. You see, we got to be circumspect. We got to be wise of our surroundings. We got to be, cautious of how we're moving out here, man, right? Because it says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, right? But as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil, man. And we are very well living in some deadly evil times. You see, as it tells us right here in this precept as well, I'm going to grab, this is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. It says, this know also that in the last days, which we're in the last days, that perilous times shall come. You go into that word perilous, it goes into times that are hazardous, times that are risky and uncertain, man. And we definitely are living in some very uncertain times where you don't know where anything is bound to happen at any moment. So you just want to constantly be in that spirit of being aware of your surroundings, man. Being aware of, when you're out and about, knowing who you're around and things like that. These are the things we should be considering, knowing the times that we're in, man. Because like I said, these people out here are losing their damn minds, man. And we know that it's only going to get worse, right? So I'm going to get straight into this video and we're going to listen to what it is they're saying. And then I'll grab a few more precepts. I pray it be edifying. But with that being said, fair use. I'm not getting paid for this video. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use.
A deadly attack on Staten Island. A man stabbed and so brutally attacked, he was decapitated. His stepson now in police custody.
Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang with the story from Staten Island.
The Halloween decorations next door add an eerie twist to the gruesome scene inside 380 Cary Avenue in the New Brighton section of Staten Island. Police arrived to find a 45-year-old man in the bathtub, not just stabbed. We're told he was decapitated, a knife found plunged into the victim's neck.
The world is upside down. That is like a peligro, horrible, To put the head of a person, that's... Even to an animal, you don't do that.
Newscopter 7 was above the scene as detectives tried to sort out the nightmare. Officials report the 19-year-old stepson is now in custody. We understand the teen's sister made the horrible discovery when she came home at 4 o'clock Monday afternoon and saw blood everywhere. She found the stepfather in the bathroom.
I can't believe this thing. It makes me want to leave.
Hugh Nemhart has lived across the street for some 60 years.
I'm not familiar with the stepson. I never saw him. I saw the father, but never the stepson. I don't know what to make of it. This is a shock.
Neighbors say they didn't know the family well. Police add the stepson does not have an arrest record, but may have a history of mental illness. On Staten Island, Lucy Yang, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
All right. And you brothers and sisters basically watched the video and seen basically what it is that took place. But yeah, man, that was all judgment from the Lord, man. And we are living in these times and seasons where, like I said, these people are waxing worse and worse, you see, and things like this is just going to become the norm. Because as I just, allowed to play in the video, it was the guy's stepson that actually did that to him, man. Right. And we know what the Lord said in the scriptures. I'm going to grab that. This is St. Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. It says, think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword, right? Destruction. Verse 35, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. You see, verse 36 is the point. It's, and a man's foes, meaning his enemies, shall be they of his own household, man. You see, and that's what we ultimately seen take place, man. You see, but at the end of the day, like I said, all of these things are being orchestrated by the Lord. You see, because the Lord ultimately is the one that allows these judgments to go out day in and day out, you see. And I'm going to just go to a precept just touching on that, you see, through the Spirit. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. It says, see now that I, even I am he, and there's no God with me. You see, no Allah, no Buddha, no Jesus, none of these different type of idols that you people ultimately believe in that you think have power. They're not the one that's ultimately doing the killing and making alive, man. That's all being done by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Right? As it tells you also in Psalms chapter 68, verse 20, it said, he that is our power is the power, and from the Lord belong the issues from death, roughly paraphrasing it. Right? So it says, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. You see? And ultimately, we know that the Lord uses men, you see, these left-hand spirits that ultimately possess these people, and he uses them to do his bidding, man. Because like I said, the Lord controls both sides, man. Right? That's Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Right. And also it tells us in Proverbs 20 and verse 24 that man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? So like I said, the Lord ultimately puts the spirits on these people to do his bidding, right? To do the things that he ultimately wants to be done. Right. And that's all this was judgment, man. Right. A terrible judgment at that. Right. But I'm going to grab this precept right here as well. This is Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus chapter 39. And I'm going to start at verse 28, because that's exactly what this was, a spirit created for vengeance. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes, right? In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Who is that talking about? The Lord, man, right? It says, verse 29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance, right? Verse 30, it says the teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents and the sword, right? And that sword is literally talking about any, deleting instrument. That can be a gun, it can be a knife, whatever it may be, right? It says punishing the wicked to destruction, because we know, as it tells us right here, this is Job 4 and 7. It says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perish being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off, man? So ultimately, if you're not following after the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, for you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians, and I believe, from what I seen in the video, the first video that I watched, that the guy was a Jake that ultimately, did this to the guy. So I guess the other dude that perished was a Jake also. So, hey, if you're not serving the Lord, for you Israelites, hey, the only thing coming for you is judgment, man. You see, that's that time and season that we're in, man, where the Lord is sending out judgments, man. Brutal judgments at that. You see, that's why we tell you Israelites to fear the Lord, man, and to turn back to him. You see? But I'm going to get back to Sirach chapter 39. And I'm going to read verse 30 again. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Verse 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Whose word? The Lord. Because like I read, the Lord is the one that's control over both life and death. So like I said, the Lord is giving out these sanctions to, allow these judgments to take place, man. Right. And like I said, I'm going to just go to another precept just touching on that. Right. This is 1 Samuel 2 and verse 6. It says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. So like I said, man, that's all this was judgment from the Lord, man. The Lord uses men to do his bidding for him on the left-hand side, man, right? It tells you that right here. This is Psalms chapter 78, right? And I'm going to read verse 49. It says, he cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. You see, and those evil angels come in the form of these humans, man. You see, these spirits that are created for vengeance to do the will of the Lord, right? So, yeah, that's what we ultimately see taking place in the earth, man. And these things are becoming more rapid because, like I said, it says right here, I'm going to grab this precept, Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, right, sin upon sin, wickedness, the love of many shall wax cold, man, right? You go into that word cold in the Greek, it's psychos. And everybody here in this place, America, you see, is in that cold, spirit, man. You see, no love, no affection for one another, no love for themselves, each other. You see, everybody just is in the cruel spirit. You see, ultimately not us. You see us hopeful like brothers and sisters. You see that believing Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We're not operating in that spirit, but still the people that are not in this truth, the 2/3 of our people and these other heathens, you see, hey, they're in that cold psychopathic spirit, man. And that's why the Lord ultimately, uses these people as, spirits for vengeance, man. to do his will, right? And like I said, us knowing these things, that's why we got to continue to pray to the Lord to have mercy upon us, man, to be with us in our day-to-day lives. You see, being with us when we go out, out there into this world. Because like I said, we're just living in a time where you don't know what's bound to happen, man. You see, we are living in some very uncertain times. That's why it's very important to pray, man. You see, pray over yourself before you leave the house. You see, multiple times we should be praying. The scriptures say in 1 Thessalonians 5:17, to pray without ceasing. We got to constantly be in that spirit of praying, man, praying to the Lord to be with us, to have mercy upon us. You see, to protect us from these things that are out here lurking. Because like I said, things are getting worse by the day, man. You see, and these people are just going to continue to get worse and worse over time, man. Right. And the evil is going to continue to increase, man. Right. Because as it tells us right here, let me grab that. This is 2 Esdras, chapter 14, and I'm going to read verse 16. It says, for yet greater evils, right, meaning bad times, than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. So everything that we see happening is only going to get worse. You see, you're going to have more, people becoming psychotic and, bugging out and just doing crazy things, man. Because like I said, the Lord is bringing judgment, man, and it's going out on a high scale here in America, man. So more evils are going to ramp up. More evils are going to come. More evils are going to be prevalent in these times, man. You see, verse 17, for look how much the world shall be weakened through age, so much the more shall evils, right, increase upon them that dwell therein. Talking about the people, man, that dwell within the earth, right? And like I said, we want to pray to the Lord ultimately to have mercy upon us in these times that we are in, man, with everything that's happening, you see, and going on, you see. And I'm actually grabbed that precept, right? This is Habakkuk, chapter 3. And I'm going to read verse 1 and verse 2. And it says, a prayer of Habakkuk the prophet upon Shigionoth. It said, O Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Yahweh, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. And that's what we want the Lord to have upon us in these times. Mercy, man. You see, to be with us in our day-to-day lives, to be with us with all of the evil things that are out here happening in this place, America, all of the wickedness that's just running rampant. You see these spirits created for vengeance that are active out here. These sick-minded people that we pass by and encounter every day in our lives. We just pray to the Lord to be with us, man. You see, because like I said, we are living in some very deadly, serious times, man. And like I said, it's going to get worse, right? The evils are going to intensify, man, So I'm going to grab this precept as well because, this is the spirit that we ultimately got to be in. For us hopeful like brothers and sisters, we got to be in the spirit of being wise. You see, allowing wisdom to meet us at every thought, as it tells you in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 16, man. You see, we got to be in that mindset, This is Colossians chapter 4 and verse 5. It says, walk in wisdom towards them that are without. And that's how we got to be. You see, us hopeful like brothers and sisters, we got to walk in wisdom towards those that are without, which are these people in this world, man. These people in this place, Babylon, right? That goes for the 2/3 of our people. That goes for, these heathen. That goes for your family members, whoever, man. Anybody that's not ultimately in this truth, you got to walk in wisdom being around these people. Because like I said, we're in a time where you never know when people might just bug out. You see, the Lord might put a spirit on somebody. Somebody might just lose their mind, man. I mean, you never know. So, hey, like I said, we got to walk in wisdom towards these people, man. You see, and this is why, as it says, redeeming the time, right? As I just read in the book of Ephesians, right? Redeeming the time because the days are evil, man. That's why we got to walk in wisdom towards these people, man. As Lord Yahweh told us to be, right? I'm going to grab that. This is Matthew chapter 10, and I'm going to read verse 16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. And that's us hopeful elect brothers and sisters. We're those sheep, man, in the midst of wolves, right? That's talking about the 2/3 of our people. These heathens, these people are wolves, man. And we know that a sheep is a harmless, docile animal. But a wolf is a ravenous, violent creature, man. You see, and that's these people out here. So like I said, us knowing that, guess what we got to do? As it tells you on down, be ye therefore wise as serpents, right? We got to be wise. We got to be moving in a state of mind of knowing that we're living in evil times. We can't be simple, right? What does it say in Proverbs 22:3? A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. You see, we want to be, aware of everything, man. You see, as much as we can. You see, we don't want to be simple out here, foolish. You see, it says wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You see, so like I said, that's the spirit we got to constantly be in, knowing these times that we're in, man. Right. So Lord's willing, I pray this video be edifying, just something quick through the spirit. To the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.